Okay, so I am just about done. I'm on the last little edge here. Okay, get the scraps out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to ink up the edges. Now this would look really, really pretty sprayed in iridescent gold glimmer mist, but I'm not going to do that. Again, inking up in the same color. I like this little piece hanging here, so I'm going to take that off. And if you don't like, you know, distressed, you could totally skip this part. Okay, now I'm going to use my spritzer tool and one of my inks. Now this would look really good in several different colors of spritzer, but or spritz-on. Like if I used, you know, some red marker and some green marker, and then also some brown, that would look really good. But I'm just going to do it in one color for now. So you unscrew this, stick this in. I usually put my brush tip where it starts to get chubbier. I stick it right there at the end of the spritzer tool. So and just squeeze it. Okay, that's good. And then take this out. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. So before I layer this onto here, I'm going to add some ribbon, and I'm going to use some that I got from Christopher Pines on Etsy. I think I will use this one. I think that would look nice. So all these really, really pretty ones. We're going to be using quite a few of them in the card series I'm doing. So set this aside. Okay, I'm going to need just enough to wrap around the card to the back. I'm going to adhere this one onto the red first. And then, let me see, and just a little bit to the back, set it where I want in the center. Kind of make it straight. Okay, now I'm going to adhere it to my card front. Okay, and then what you can do is, you know, just kind of scratch, you know, ruffle this up a bit to make it look a bit more distressed, but I know I'm getting low on time, so I'm going to skip that step. What I'm using now is a piece of olive cardstock that measures 2 3/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, as well as a piece of ivory cardstock that measures 2 1/2 by 3. And I'm going to go ahead and ink up the edges here. Let me get some more ink. And this one as well. Again, I'm not being too careful. What I'm going to use, I'm going to chop off the corners here. And I can't remember the name of this punch, but it's a Stampin' Up! One. You can see the shape of it. Pardon me. Let me ink this up. And once again, I'm going to use my spritzer. So let me get my scrap here. Just add a little bit of or a lot. A background to that. Okay, I'm going to layer the ivory onto the olive now. Okay, and I'm going to add some brads into the edges here. I think I'll use silver since I used silver ribbon. Oops. And if the prongs hang off, I'm just going to chop them off with my scissors. A lot of times, especially if you're adding dimensionals or 3D foam or something, the prongs will slip around. Of course, you don't want it once your card's already assembled. So I'm just going to use, whoops, I'm going to snip those. Can you see that? It just doesn't look very nice. Okay, so now I'm going to just add some dimensionals to the back here, pushing the prongs down a little to secure those. This one hanging over, it is a little bit, isn't it? I'm going to move it. Okay. Add this to my card front. I'm going to have to hold this up so I get it somewhat centered. Okay. Now I'm going to take my tree and I'm going to add some dazzling diamonds to it, or some glitter. I think that'd be pretty. Okay, so basically I'm just going to take the, oops, I already got the lid off. Take the high points and really quickly, not being very careful, I'm just going to dip that, let me see, I'm going to use my tweezers here to grab it. I'm just going to dip that down into my dazzling diamonds. And you won't be able to see the glue when it dries, so it'll look pretty. Let me add the lid back onto this. You need to see that all over my craft room. Okie doke. Now I'm going to just add my tree. Now if you are concerned about having a tree base, which, you know, I'm not, but I know that close to my heart, the Evergreen stamp set, they have a tree base. They actually have two. And this is just one stamp set. I just don't know, you know, this is just something I owned right here, and then this one that you could use. Or you could use a punch and some cardstock and create your own. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just add, and I know this is going to push off some of my adhesive, or my glitter, but, okay, oops, quite a bit of it actually, but pretty. I'm just going to set this onto my card. Let's see if this is straight. Okay. It's not straight, but just pretend it is. And you can see there's quite a bit of dimension on this, but once it's, you know, kind of in an envelope, it won't be as bad, because this one, I mean, although it has dimension, it's not really puffy. And I think what I'm going to do is just snip the prongs off of this brad and just add that to the top here. And I thought about using these pearls from Wild Orchid Crafts, but I just decided to go ahead and use a brad. So snip these off. Super easy to do. And then use a glue dot to attach it. Now, if you're nervous about doing that, you could have planned better than I did and just added it before you attached this top layer. And again, this is just a sample, so just pretend everything is straight. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is add my sentiment. And I'm using a Stampin' Up! Stamp that says Seasoned Greetings. And I'm going to ink this in the soft suede ink. We'll just add a banner to the bottom here. Okay, so this piece measures 5/8 inches by 3 inches. And I'm just going to snip the edges here to create a banner. Okay, and we're going to ink that up, of course. And you can use the spritzer or, glimmer mist or something on here to make it nicer. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and use my Stamp-A-Majig just to make sure that I get this straight. Okay. And then just to break the fibers, I'm just going to rub this with my bone folder just so it looks more like a banner. Okay, so it looks like this. And then I'm going to add it to the card with dimensionals. And put it right by the S and then right under the other bump. Okay. And on the button here I'm going to add glue dot to that. Kind of set that right here by the S. And that is how you make a origami tree for your Christmas card. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.